So my parents just told me to be grateful for the $10 while they literally tried to steal my entire future. And honestly, I've never felt more satisfied in my entire life. If you've ever had family members treat you like a second-class citizen while pretending it's for your own good, this one is for you. Sit down, grab a drink, because this is the story of how my parents' greed and their obsession with my golden child brother ended up costing them everything. To understand how we got to the $10 insult, I have to give you a little background on the family business. My grandfather started a mid-sized logistics company about 40 years ago. It wasn't Amazon, but it was lucrative. When he passed away, the ownership was split between my dad, who got 70.
Now, here's the thing about being the workhorse. I'm the one who actually reads the contracts. When my grandfather left me those shares, he knew my father's temperament. He had a private lawyer draft the original shareholder agreement, and I had spent the last week reviewing it with my own counsel because I smelled this coming a mile away. I looked at the $10 bill. I looked at my parents. And then I did something they didn't expect. I smiled. I picked up the pen and I signed the transfer. My mother sighed with relief, and my dad actually chuckled. "Good lad," he said. "I knew you'd see reason. Now let's eat." I didn't eat. I excused myself, took a photo of the signed document, and went straight to my lawyer's office the next morning. You see, buried in the original 1998 shareholder agreement, a document my father hadn't looked at in 20 years, was a very specific anti-dilution and valuation trigger clause. Section 12.4 stated that any transfer of shares forced by the majority shareholder for nominal consideration, meaning anything significantly below market value, automatically triggered a put option. This option allowed the minority shareholder, me, to force the company to buy back all remaining interest at 1.5 times the current fair market value, payable within 30 days. Furthermore, the clause stipulated that if the company couldn't liquidly cover the buyout, the majority shareholder's personal assets, including their primary residence and private holdings, would serve as collateral. By handing me that $10 and forcing the signature, my father hadn't just consolidated the shares, he had triggered a legal trap that grandfather had set for anyone who tried to bully a family member out of their fair share. 3 days later, my parents were served. I wasn't there to see it, but my lawyer told me it was glorious. My dad called me 42 times in 2 hours. When I finally picked up, he was screaming so loud I had to hold the phone away from my ear. "What is this? This legal notice says we owe you $6 million? Are you insane? We don't have $6 million in cash." I calmly replied, "Well, the agreement says you have 30 days to find it. Or I suppose you could sell the house and the beach property. Or, you could have just treated me with respect." He tried to argue that the $10 was a joke, a symbolic gesture, but it was too late. The paperwork he forced me to sign explicitly listed the purchase price as $10 USD. By documenting that price, he had legally admitted to a bad faith transfer. For the next month, it was war. They tried to fire me, but my contract had a severance clause that they also couldn't afford to pay. They tried to guilt trip me, sending my aunts and uncles to tell me I was destroying the family. I told every single one of them the same thing. They tried to steal $4 million from me for a $10 bill. Who destroyed the family?
In the end, they couldn't raise the cash. To avoid total bankruptcy and losing their home, my father was forced to step down as CEO. I negotiated a settlement where I took over 51% of the company, becoming the majority owner. My father was relegated to a consultant role with no voting rights. And Leo? Leo was cut off completely. He had to get a real job working for a construction firm. The best part? On my first day as the new head of the company, I walked into my father's old office. He was sitting there, packing his things, looking older than I'd ever seen him. I walked up to him, reached into my pocket, and pulled out that same $10 bill he had flicked at me. I placed it on his desk. "Here," I said, "for the memories. Be grateful for the $10, Dad." I walked out and closed the door. The company is doing better than ever now, and for the first time in my life, I'm not working for my parents' approval. I'm working for myself. Moral of the story? Always read the fine print, and never, ever mistake someone's hard work for weakness.